Yeah, so that's that first of the month weekend, people moving and shit. This is that first next week. If you didn't pay your rent, it's time to move out. You know, got to get out of there before you get that check for the landlord come on first. I hate moving. Wish I could just live out of a little box. Dude moving didn't look too happy. So anyway, you watching Bus Stop P, probably on YouTube, since they the only one give you enough time to talk on there, and I know to talk. Going over here on Birchwood and Hoyne right now. I'm gonna get off the bike though, so y'all can hear me. So I could drop a little knowledge on you. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just ride. Fuck it. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. I always got some good stuff, and like most of the channels on the internet, they'll get better if you subscribe to them and give them a chance to flourish and to grow. Pedaling up a hill, y'all. All right, so I thought about it today with it just struck me when somebody, it was probably a recording or something, or radio or something, and the lady's like, I'm a white lady, and it just struck me, like, what do that exactly mean, right? The same way they say that if you're black, if you're white, in America I'm talking about. I'm not talking about other places right now. And I think the thought that I got from it was that for me it stood for something like, well, honkies interpret this equally. You see, it made me think about what people think of the worth of something or someone. There's some thought into who assigns what's worth something, and who assigns what's not worth something, or that's not as good as the other thing. So I thought about it, and after considering it, to me it seems to be something of a it just seems to be something of a power grab, a place where people have been able to take advantage of others. It's, since the beginning of time. I'm tall, you're short, you're fat, I'm skinny. So if only skinny people can make it through a hole in the wall, well, then the skinny people got the power. They made skinny better. They made skinny more important than fat. Likewise, the same as if it was, if you had to hunt for your food, the better hunters would have the power. Or if you had to be intelligent to survive, be able to, create things, fix things, well, then those people would have the power. And so what made me think about it is just because now with our political situation, I just looked at it that way. It's not interpreted equally, right? And you could interpret, if you're a honky, if you're a white person, you could interpret honkies for history. Because see, right now, that's who really setting the history in the United States of America I'm talking about. So, will honkies interpret this equally? Will history interpret this evenly, equally? And you got to look at it. The American history is kind of messed up. Well, it's fucked up because the whole economy is based on stealing. You see, that's why the man at the top right now is the one who's able to steal the most. The whole economy was based on stealing. It's based on, it was supposed to be no taxation without representation, but it went back to the same thing that they ran from in 400 years or whatever. In 400 years, it devolved right back into what it was. So it was based on stealing. They stole land, they stole a continent, right? They stole people. So that's another thing they stole. They stole people. And it's like if I'm gonna go do a robbery, right? You can't expect a robber to do the right thing. He gonna go steal somebody's gun, probably shoot somebody or test it out. Then he gonna use that gun to go hijack a car, get the fuck out the car, all this shit like this, Clint Eastwood or whatever, Snoop Doggy Dogg or Gang Boys in the Hood, whatever. Now they got the stolen gun, now they got the stolen car. Now they drive it up into a store or something. Oh yeah, gotta let the kids play. But so anyway, in the robber scenario, real quick. Okay, the robber don't give a fuck. He gonna steal a gun, boom, shoot you if you get in his way. Then he gonna use the gun to steal a car, hijack the motherfucking car, shoot you if you don't get out the motherfucking car. Then he gonna take the car and go rob the motherfucking bank or go rob the motherfucking convenience store. You see what I'm saying? And then if he get chased by the police, he gonna try to unload on them too. And that's an imaginary scenario, so nobody got hurt. But that's what I'm saying is, the criminals don't give a fuck. So the people that's making the rules, they gotta have rules that fit the fight that they're in. They're in a fight with somebody who doesn't play by the rules. So all of these things, I despise and dismiss as anything good from those people shooting up churches and mosques and synagogues and all of that stuff like that. No, that whole thing that's wrong. But the bad guys, they don't care. They're gonna get their weapon from wherever. They're gonna find their victims wherever, malls, churches. They don't care. And the rules that everybody else is playing by, oh, we're gonna figure this out. Oh, we're gonna figure this out. Give us some time, we'll figure it out. People still dying while y'all figuring this shit out. It ain't really shit to figure out, all right? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna deal with everything in a manner where the people in power don't want to give up any power. Electric cars is not a problem except for the petroleum industry. They had EV1s, they bought them all back and crushed them all. 99% of them or whatever percentage of them is gone. There's only a small handful left of EV1 cars GM made. GM had a fucking 25-year head start, but it wasn't profitable for them and their partners to make oil. It wasn't profitable for them and their partners in the oil business to make electric powered cars. The battery technology was not shit back then, lead acid batteries, but that was all going to progress over time. Look how much they done shrunk a cell phone battery or a laptop battery. They're going to be able to shrink those batteries in those cars real soon. Real soon. The battery just going to be like part of the trunk before you know it. Just like the cell phone. Used to be the battery was big as hell and the fucking buttons and shit was the littlest part. The battery was as big as a fucking brick. And the part where you put your face on there was about big as your face, a few inches or whatever. Same thing with the cars. The battery technology is going to improve, but that's only if people demand it and if people use it. The oil companies, they try everything. Oh, we're going to add ethanol to it. We're going to add alcohol to it. Oh, we'll come up with biodiesels. We're researching on biodiesels. It's something like several hundred horsepower per acre on a sunny day. Saudi Arabia, they just built, or in the Arab or Saudi, I don't know, in one of those, they just built the largest fucking solar farm. That motherfucker big as hell. That could power them for a century. And what the fuck is we doing? Oh, I brought back coal. We don't need coal. They don't understand. These companies don't understand how y'all destabilizing the core of the earth. Y'all still just looking at, oh, the oceans are gonna rise. Oh, the caps are melting. Do you think about what's going on in the core? Huh? You think about what's going on underneath your car when it's getting rusty? No, they're not looking at that. They're not looking at that until the muffler falls off. But it's too late. And it's already too late because right now the power structure is white. You know what I'm saying? We'll honkies look at this equally. And when I'm talking about the honkies, I'm just talking about you rich motherfuckers who swoo woo woo just to keep the money going when you know it ain't the right thing. All right? We need electric. We need it now. That's the right thing. Y'all don't want to do the right thing. Oh, well, the workers need more money. You know, everybody need an income they can live off. We can't live off these incomes no more and do what y'all expect us to do. It's not going to happen. People then had to join the U.S. military just to get fucking medical treatment because as a soldier, you're going to get it. You can't afford it. Look at my teeth. I can't afford no motherfucking dentist. And the shit just gets worse and worse. Now the bill, you know, I need like 18 grand or something like that, right? It might get cheaper because the technology or whatever advanced. But I mean, the problem gets worse and worse and worse. And if somebody could do something about it, then they need to, including you. If you're watching this video, you need to be doing something about it. Don't just be sitting up there watching this video and agreeing with me. I don't have a lot of power. There's people out there with power, with millions of dollars. And see what it is the people that stand to gain the most from it, they're not budging. Hello there. The people that have the power right now, they refuse to budge. They refuse to budge because they're making money off of oil. Big oil's making plenty of money, you know, freely. Telecom, they're taking advantage of radio waves and giga spectrum that's in the air. That's free. That's freely given to us like air. But they take control of it. The water systems. You know, electrically, one day they won't have control of big companies because anybody be able to go out and just say, all right, I'm just gonna buy me a solar array. Same way your ass, you can't afford an umbrella, you could throw a goddamn leaf over your head. You know what I mean? The human knowledge advanced and the materials advanced, where it's, you know exactly where to get what you need to do what you're trying to do. And there's people off the grid right now. They're using solar power. That's what the fuck the solar was meant for. No, we can't harness fusion, then we don't want to use solar. Why? Because you can't harness fusion and sell it. Only thing they can sell is oil and coal and gas, and that fracking is bad news. I'm telling you. Like, oh, it's the greatest new thing. No, okay. You're on the surface of the earth right now. If you're watching this video, you're on the surface of the earth. Below that's all that shit's topsoil, dirt, rock, bedrock, limestone, and all of that. Then you get to the core. The core is molten rock. You understand what I'm saying? The core is molten rock. So now, oil is down layers beneath some of this shit, right? So now 100 years pass. You dug up oil for 100 years. Now the oil level is low. Eventually, the drilling is going to go too far. And it's a molten core. And if that molten core explodes, then I think that's global catastrophe. You know, it's like popping the balloon, right? When you stick the fucking needle up against it, it might not pop. But then when you push enough, bloop, the whole thing pops. It's not a balloon anymore. It don't even look nothing like what a balloon used to look like when it's done. It doesn't have the same properties. It's not floating in the air. All the helium or whatever they release from it. And that's what they're doing to the planet. Green New Deal, it's a good idea. And it's just an idea. And you know what? I'm glad for that girl, Ocasio-Cortez, doing that. Because it just show what a fucking titsy pants these motherfucking Mitch McConnells and all these, these oil magnates and all these people that's locked up in lockstep with the denial and shit. I'm glad for that girl. She can be president one day. She got plenty of time. She know that. That's why right now they like doing her like Jesus and shit. What about this and what about that? Is she giving her honest opinion? She a Bronx chick. She know what she talking about. And she from New York. That's part of what helped Trump, whether people don't realize it or not. You know, New York, that means something. That's not our capital, but that's like the capital of the culture, the epicenter, put it that way. Not necessarily the capital as in, but commerce goes through New York. Entertainment, even though there's Hollywood now, entertainment, everything went through there. Oil, field, Rockefeller, all that shit went straight through there. People look at history, these young kids, they don't know shit. They know if they can get in a Camaro and go speeding off down the road, that's cool. But they don't know how long, like since the 70s and 80s, people been fooling with that shit. Electrical cars and all that. They know the technology there. And you know, I used to tell people years ago, because I was maybe at least 10 years ago, I was in a detention. At least 10 years ago, I was in a detention, and I read this book called The Coming Age of Solar Energy, Solar Power. Well, anyway, it was written in like the 60s. So this book was written in the 60s or whatever. And this book was written in the 60s, and it explained just how close we should be. That was one of those books when they were like in the 60s and 70s and maybe even into the 80s. Like, yeah, by 2000 we'll be doing this and we'll be doing, you know, et cetera and so forth with the technology. But anyway, in reading this, like Saudi Arabia or wherever they built that solar array, they're not stupid. They know what's coming. And see, all they heads of state or they heads of their countries or whatever, they able to just say, all right, go build a solar array out in the desert, power the fucking country. But see, here, everything is for sale. Everything is stolen. You know what I'm saying? They stealing people's lives from them, really. And I'll even make a take on what Kanye had to say about, oh, slavery is a choice. Yeah, slavery, you could say that's a choice. You could run from it. Okay, I give you that point. But in this day and age, there's still slavery going on, but where you gonna run? See, because back then, oh, okay, you're a slave in Alabama, you're a slave in Mississippi. Follow the river, go north, go as far as you can, and go to Canada. Go to Detroit. You know what I mean? Go to New York. Get out of the South. And right now, there's a slavery going on, and it's just quite simply, it's money slavery. Because, you know, however you want to put it, the money is the power is the money. But, you know, they want to keep, in the U.S., their big mistake is trying to keep everybody locked out. You can't lock out the world. The world is our family in the United States. And, you know, I'm descendants of slaves. I don't give a fuck if y'all got money for us, well, then pay up. But if not, ain't nobody gonna argue for this shit. And you have us going around in circles asking you for something you know you owe. And you just sit up there like they do. We can't do nothing about it. Yeah, you can. Mitch McConnell, all of that Republican bullshit. Yeah, they just want to keep on stuff in their pockets. That's the point. Every time they have a meeting, they have it down in Mar-a-Lago so Trump can make rent off of them. So he can make money off of them with his cronies and all of that other stuff. You know, the oil companies, they keep the prices as high as they can. Telecom, they keep the prices as high as they can. And then you have places like Walmart that keep the price as low as they can, but then they treat the customers like shit. So you sucking the value out of your fucking employees just to satisfy your stockholders. That's you know what I'm saying, that's stealing life energy away from them just to give it to somebody else, which is, you know, that's really some garbage in itself. But if you're going to be a slave, then at least, you know, some slaves didn't run away. Some slaves end up owning the farm. But you know what I'm saying, history is not going to really accent that when you get down to it. History is not going to say, yeah, well, you know, this guy, there's a couple of figures in history, you know, this one man, he stole a ship, ran it out of their territory, ran for Congress and all the stuff like this. And all these things he did, people don't look at it like that. Yeah, slavery is a choice. You can either choose to fight it and fight it in your own way, or you can choose to go along with it. And right now, all the motherfucking niggas that's slaves sitting up there playing NFL football, that shit is gonna always be slavery, because they basically just taking your body in the worst way. And basketball, they running up out of it, but you know what? Okay, Magic ain't coaching the Lakers no more, and you know, he did it on the last day of the season and all that, you know, let him know what was going on with him. Magic don't need the NBA. The NBA need Magic. You understand? Because when basketball started, it wasn't nothing but a few guys just bouncing the ball around and, you know, doing tricks or doing slam dunks, and you know, they made it into what it is, you know, Showtime. You know what I'm saying? The NBA is fantastic and everything else like that. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan, the championships, the greatest of all time. You know, the sky hook with Kareem, Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem the Dream, Elijah Wan. You know, you know, like they sold. And I'm not hard on the NBA because they paid their players, and you know, but it's still the owners. When Mike retired, they wouldn't let him get a piece of nothing. He had to really go for that gusto, and he was lucky. I'm not gonna say he's lucky, but the stars lined up that he had his shoe brand being so profitable that allowed him to make some financial moves that, you know, are not easy financial moves to make. But in the NFL, they just take their bodies. That's why when they have the combine, and I don't watch it. I caught some, you know, thing that's on the gas station pump or whatever. That's the most, like, you got to see this fucking shit. But they take their bodies, they put them on a block. They say, this is how fast this nigga can run. All right. This is how high this nigga can jump from a stand. All right. This is how far this nigga can throw the ball. And yeah, I know it's some white boys out there. It's some white boys out there too that's playing football. That's, you know, that it, you know, it's evolved or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's still slavery in the form of taking these people's vitality. We in an age where we don't have to do that anymore. You can be a homeless fucking bum and still have everything everybody else got. I can watch television on my phone, screen cracked. So what? I can listen to music. You know what I mean? I can access the library. I can access the internet. I can access information real easy. And people in power they're not going to want to cede power at all. You have all these billionaires donated $1 billion or hundreds of millions of dollars to rebuild the Notre Dame cathedral in France. Had the fire, burned down, lots of damage. They pledged $1 billion, but who's pledging $1 billion worth of for the crisis that already exists? Not for, you know, when they see this, something moves them because they, you know, the equality of history. It's the equality of history where in history, they will go down in history with their name as someone who made the cathedral possible, right? So if I'm John Q. Smith, and this will be part of the John Q. Smith Cathedral, or I have my name on a brick or something like that. So in history, like what the president's doing now, he keeps trying to put his name and his image and his moniker or his branding, you can call it, or whatever. That's what it's called these days. He's trying to put his branding on everything. He come and talk about the Panama Canal. We did a great job on the Panama Canal. The dude was like, this 100 years ago. You see what I'm saying? But he'll have you think he built Mount Rushmore. If, you know, if that'll make him sound good in front of a crowd, he'll do that. And you know what that is? That's a clown. Okay, I hate to say it. I'm saying it in so many words so that I'm not, you know, directly insulting nobody. But that's what a clown does. You know what I mean? That's what a clown does. A clown just entertains a crowd and does any slapstick ass thing that entertain a crowd. You know what I mean? Pull handkerchiefs out of your pocket, juggle, you know, make faces, whatever people want that'll make them laugh right then, and then they do it. And then, you know, what a big gift to all the corrupt people to have this man, which actually, you know, tax returns and all that shit. He in the hole, y'all. Like, personally, financially, like, how they say, you know, like, R. Kelly go to jail if he don't have the money. You know, somebody got it. Somebody holding it. And see, he's like an old man where nobody won't let him get no ice cream or nothing. Even as the leader of the free world, you know, you got people that you're gonna put me in a position where I gotta fucking break the law. Oh no, where my suitcase at? I'm leaving. You put a lot of people in position to do that, and you know, maybe all that stuff is like, oh, I'm gonna clean this place up. No, you're not cleaning the place up. You're making that place dirtier, because Like everyone with integrity has to go. Everyone who is like trying to hold it together. Everything in Washington is not, it's not on the up. That's why the whole thing is how it is. But those people that's only fighting for the few and fighting to put hands in their pockets. No, I've been looking at the presidential candidates. I don't. You can call it an endorsement if you want to. I'm a I've been homeless and jobless for a while. I'm jobless in the fashion that, like, I help family do stuff. They'll feed me, they'll pay me, but I haven't had a payroll job since the early 2000s, and those people that's at the top, they only just want to look out for their friends. I had a nice job. I made, what I'm saying, 50 a year, 50,000 a year job, you know, kids, wife, house, football practices and, PTA meetings or whatever, but now everything is symbolic of locking people out and keeping people away from the prosperity that they helped to make. All you motherfucking people who work at Walmart, thank you. Thank you. Y'all make shit great for everybody where I can go and buy a $40 or $50 phone at Walmart where I can just park on the side, walk right in, get my phone, walk right out, show them my receipt. That's great. I ain't got to climb a mountain and cross a river to go and get something that's going to bring the world to me and me to the world. So I appreciate y'all because they owe y'all a whole lot more money than what they've been giving y'all. And Amazon is, maybe, I know that companies are companies. They're rough. Okay. I'm not defending Amazon. I'm not defending their practices or whatever. But when people wanted $15 an hour, Amazon just gave it to them. Bezos, he's smart. He see the future. You don't want nobody outside your place picketing. You don't want nothing to slow down your money. So when you look at it, it's not that hard for him to just say, all right, give them $15 an hour. That's cool. That's, he is one of the CEOs that actually knows how to take short-term loss for a long-term gain. That the thing where they didn't pay taxes and everything like that. That was going on before Amazon existed. Those big companies not paying any tax, but they're just one of a lot of glaring examples, like where they, they're like people who go out and work. They, at the end of the year, they get a tax return, and so it's really huge because they're a really huge company. So they are smart enough to take really, really smart exemptions, and like that's a problem now because if every company does that, and if every industry allows it to run amok like that, it won't work. Here come my bus, y'all. I gotta go.